Wendy Soucie, and I'm here with Joe Bainbridge, who by day works as an engineer, electrical engineer at Spring Creek Engineering, but by afternoon and every other moment, he is the race director for the Lodi Mother's Day Run, which is on May 8th. So I'm sitting here with Joe today, and we're talking a little bit about what he does for a day job. So why don't you start, Joe? Tell us what Spring Creek Engineering is.
Well, what Spring Creek Engineering is a consulting engineering firm. We do design and engineering and consulting for clients in the building, construction, and renovation industry. Everything's building related. It's big stuff. It's medium voltage equipment, large generator systems, things like that. Pretty much anything with a wire to it, we'll design.
Okay, and you have some specialty in the lean and green engineering type areas. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, definitely. That's something very dear to my heart. We do a lot of commissioning of systems and also design of very energy efficient systems. My opinion is if you're only designing to code, you should get out of the business. You can do so much better than that, and there's so many ways to do better than that, and that's what we really focus on. Another thing is the commissioning aspect is we'll go into a facility, and even though people spend lots of money on energy efficient systems and those type of things, I find out that when they were installed, they were never actually put into operation properly. And we'll go through and look at the systems, see how they're programmed, see how they're actually operating, to see if they're really giving the energy benefits that the design should have given them. So people pay for this and they think they've got it, but you don't have it till it's really working, and that's what we make sure it's working.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but you just bought the old Ice Age Trail building at 218 South Main Street, but you work nationally, correct?
Yes, that's correct. We work all over the country, mainly doing the energy and sustainability type of design and consulting. We do photovoltaic systems. We do a lot of work for the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and that takes me to locations all over the United States on a regular basis.
Joe, I know that I met you a number of years ago living in Lodi because you and my husband are both musicians. And you've been able to fold your love of music and theater and interest with your electrical engineering day job. Tell us a little bit about what you do that's a specialty in that area.
Well, what I've been able to do, and it's something near and dear to me, is I've been able to get work in theaters, doing lighting design, theatrical lighting design, as well as sound system design, and I find it's a lot of fun. Last few years, it's been a little bit slow market in the current recession. There hasn't been a whole lot of that, but I've done some pretty large things. I did the sound system design for the old Brewer Stadium, not Miller Park, but the one that got torn down. I had done that. Done some theaters in Illinois, some small theaters in Wisconsin. So it's kind of fun. I really enjoy that, and again, it's taking my artistic side and melding it with the technical side.
Have you ever played your music in a theater that you did the electrical work for?
Not yet. I'd love to. For instance, the Widener Center up in Green Bay, designed that, and would love to play up there at the University. It's a great theater. I've been on stage there many times, and kind of look up at the audience and say, yeah, this would be pretty cool.
Joe, now I have a couple of questions for you that I've been asking the different sponsors of the Lodi Mother's Day Run. First of all, what is your ideal customer, or who is your ideal customer?
My ideal customer is someone who has a somewhat high-tech facility, whether it be computer intensive or equipment intensive. I do a lot of industrial and medical facilities where they really have some pretty specific needs, and the average engineer out there isn't going to necessarily be good at that. Mm-hmm. My philosophy with a lot of my clients is I'm very client focused. I don't have a list of services I sell. I look at the client and help them determine what it is they really need. Not everyone needs a $50,000 design. Some of them can get by with a $5,000 design because they have people in-house who can take it from there. So it's, I think of myself as very client-focused in that respect, but it'd be high-tech clients or larger facilities that really have some complicated power systems, emergency power systems, and data systems.
Joe, what is the most recent cool project that you worked on with your engineering business?
Probably one of the most recent was just last week. I was up commissioning a very large residence hall at UW La Crosse. There we're looking at daylighting and a number of other things. What commissioning is looking at the systems and making sure they're actually operating as they're designed. Also looking at ways that the installation can make it easier to maintain and operate long term. Because it's not just how something's installed that makes it energy efficient or green. It's that it's maintainable in that, so that 10 years on the line, everything doesn't kind of go awry, and now we have a facility operating inefficiently. So we'll go in as small as things as how the wiring's going in, to as larger things as how the daylighting systems are being programmed, how things are located, where photo sensors are located in ceilings. We'll look at those things up front and say, okay, it'll work, but it would work better if it was done this way. And we'll make those changes throughout construction so that the facility not only works day one, but works down the line.
Okay. And is commissioning just for things that are run by electricity, or are you involved in the commissioning of other types of mechanical equipment?
Well, definitely other mechanical equipment too. I work with other consultants who do that, and we'll go through and we kind of help each other out, because we can both, when you have two sets of eyes, you spot a lot of things. But a lot of the commissioning is done, for instance, last week we were looking at energy recovery systems, where they're actually taking exhaust air that would normally just go out in the atmosphere. They're reclaiming the heat off of that and putting it back to the incoming airstream so that we're not losing all that energy.
All right, now this is the fun part, the kind of questions I like to ask the sponsors. Now, you're sponsoring through your efforts as race director and all the time that you're putting into this. You're doing this because you like to exercise yourself. So, Joe, why don't you tell us about what your latest endeavor is, and what you're committed to, and what's your favorite part about it?
Well, one of probably the biggest endeavor athletically this year is going to be racing Ironman Wisconsin coming up in September. I have about 190 days to train, and it's pretty daunting to look at what I need to do to accomplish that.
And that's a 2.2 mile swim, 112 bike, and a 26.2 mile run.
Yeah. Actually, 2.4 mile swim. So it's a long distance, and it's training is actually kind of fun for it, because since you're not doing all those things all the time, each individual event you train for is actually kind of a social event. It's kind of nice. You just kind of go to get really tired.
And which of the three, what is your favorite?
Oh, cycling, definitely. I used to be a pro-am cyclist, so I've raced all over the country. I've raced against the biggest names, including Lance Armstrong, and side by side with those people.
Did you beat Lance?
Many times, and he beat me many times. Lance is a different type of rider. I'm a very fast, very agile rider, and Lance was just a brute force, climb a mountain type of rider. And the races that I was off the front, he was in the back. And the races he was off the front, I was off the back. So it's just different physical makeup.
Now here's a question everybody wants to know, Joe. What brought you to the scenic Lodi Valley, and what do you like best about living here?
Well, what brought me here was I used to, when I was cycling, I trained obviously a lot of miles, 450 miles a week. Almost every week of the year, even in Wisconsin, and I would ride up to Lodi, and I would ride up to the top of Gibraltar Rock, and I usually brought some food with me. I'd ride up, which is an unbelievably steep climb, and I would sit up there for a couple minutes, and I'd drink a water bottle, and then I would have some food, and then I would ride my bike right down Main Street. And there used to be an A&W here, and I'd get a little food, refill up my water bottles, and then head back south of Madison. Actually, is where I was living at the time. So I'd just be after work. I'd work all day, and then I'd go for an 80-some mile bike ride, and it would take me through Lodi and back home before dark. So that's why I found out about this and just loved it up here.
Well, where do you ride now? If before you lived in Madison or South and rode to Lodi, what do you do now?
I just ride around in circles in Lodi a lot now.
And all the hills.
And all the hills, yeah.
Okay, so one last question, a burning question. I didn't tell you ahead of time, but you designed the course for the Lodi Mother's Day run, and it's one mother of a run because there are a lot of hills in it. Yeah. What prompted you to do that?
Well, mainly because I don't have to run it because I'm running. I'll be organizing it. No, I think a lot of races recently that I've done, my triathlons I do, the runs have been getting unbelievably hard. I mean, they're having us run up just cliffs and just craziness. And it's nice to have something like this where, for people who want to do triathlons, they can actually race a running race on a course similar to what they actually hit in a triathlon. Seems kind of strange, but I mean, triathloning is a lot longer. Half Ironman and Ironman distance is a lot longer, but the run courses are hellacious. I mean, they're climbing, thousands of feet in the run, at least hundreds of feet. I think Door County is almost 1,000 feet in 13.1 miles. So having a hilly run for people to do, not only will the people who love to run hills enjoy it, but I think as a crossover, it's going to give people a real challenge and be something that I think they'll remember. It's beautiful out there. Okay.
Well, people who are listening to this interview, the run is on May 8th, 2011. It's on, you can find all the details about the run at www.lodimothersdayrun.com, where we have a blog. Sign up for the race and then sign up for the blog. You can get all the updates up until race day, which is going to be pretty exciting. Thanks.
Thank you.